me give you a little message to everyone out there, all my fellow Christian content producers, whether you're a YouTuber, whether you're a blogger, whether you're an author, or even just aspiring to be any of these things, podcaster, whatever you are, all my brothers in the cross-politic Fight, Laugh, Feast network, all of my guys that are writing blog posts and you only get 100 viewers, readers and things like that, all you podcasters that don't, whether you get 6,000 downloads or you get a couple downloads, it doesn't matter. This is the time, guys. I'm telling you, this is the time. The opportunity is there. Let me just give you a little bit of encouragement here, whether you have, 10 people that subscribe to your email list or thousands of subscribers. This is the time, guys. If you've got a message and you're biblical and you're putting biblical truth and you're actually bringing it to bear upon the culture, you're actually doing these things in a hard-hitting, straightforward. Whether it can be winsome, it can even be winsome. It doesn't matter if you're doing it in a straightforward, relevant kind of a way. This is your opportunity. And you know how I know this is your opportunity? Because the old guard, the guys that put out, that probably spent hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe not hundreds of thousands, maybe tens of thousands of dollars writing a stupid report that said that it's really bad if you get your news from YouTube. You can't watch YouTube videos. Like the people that spent time and money on that, you're probably funding them, by the way. So how about we'll stop doing that, and then we'll get to real work, right? Let's stop funding these guys and get to real work. You see, these guys, the old guard, they wrote all the books that we used to read and we used to love. They did all the podcasts that we used to listen to. Look at the content that they're putting out. This is an hour ago. This came across my Facebook feed, my story. I refuse to click this article. I am not going to read this article. Sesame Street turns 50 this week. Here's my article, What the Church Can Learn from Sesame Street. This is an unironic article. I'm sure. I haven't read it, but I'm sure, he's not his style. Let me think about how to say this in a winsome way. It's Winsome November, after all. This is why these guys are becoming irrelevant, and this is why you have an opportunity to actually grow a platform now. This is why you have an opportunity to actually bring real biblical things to bear on this culture. Real biblical ideas, law, ideology, worldview, all this stuff. This is why you have an opportunity, because our leaders, this guy's got 35,000 people that follow his Facebook page, and he's writing articles, What the Church Can Learn from Sesame Street. Now, I'm not saying that there's not a place for an article like this. It's okay. You want to write an article like this? There's a market for this. I know there's a market for this, and there's a place for this. But think of the timing here. Yesterday, ABC News was caught suppressing one of the biggest stories that we can imagine. We were told, talking heads like this, approved people like Russell Moore were telling us that this is a conspiracy theory. Jeffrey Epstein was murdered in his jail cell by the elite, by the deep state. ABC News knew about his little pedophile ring 3 years ago and buried the story. And they buried the story because the people in play were people that they liked and people that had power, and they were part of it. They were either part of it or they were too chicken to do anything about it. And we got this video of a woman who is lamenting and sad and frustrated. Not because she didn't do anything about it and lots of girls suffered because of it. She's upset because she got scooped. She wanted the credit for the story. She's not sad that the girls suffered since she did nothing and since her network told her to do nothing. She's sad she got scooped. The real power structures, because there are institutions and there is institutional injustice. It's just not the fake stuff that Mr. Sesame Street here is telling you about. There's real stuff going on, man. There is a pedophile ring, and lots of our leaders were part of it. And they have known about it for a long time, and they buried the story. And Russell Moore decided to post an article about Sesame Street. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? The opportunity is now, boys. The opportunity is now. Those of you who have cojones, those of you who have backbone, those of you who aren't going to look giddy as a schoolgirl to meet Barack Obama, like Mr. Sesame Street here, the time is now. It's ripe for the picking. Look at this. Russell Moore's got 3.7 thousand subscribers on YouTube. I've got almost 3,000. He's got these worthless videos that get barely any views. 187 views on the sufficiency of Scripture. I'm not much. I'm a little fish in the YouTube pond. I could post a video with the same title and I would get more views than he had in a day. There's just no question about it. I mean, the time is now, boys. The time is now. We've got an opportunity to say enough of this milquetoast Muppet babies nonsense. There's serious things happening. And this is right. This should be right in Russell Moore's wheelhouse. I mean, isn't he all about protecting women and protecting children and stuff like that? And one of the main news organizations, one of the main companies in our country got caught protecting a pedophile ring. And he's posting about Sesame Street. The time is now, gentlemen. It's a scary thing, and there's no question about it, but it's also exciting. The time to build a platform is now, because guys like Russell Moore are becoming more and more obsolete. Every single article they put out, Sesame Street.